Weather Channel's Mike Seidel is live in Coweta. And Mike, you're showing us around the area that was hard hit there in Coweta, where we're seeing, air conditioning units that were ripped off. I'm going to keep it short because you're having a hard time hearing me. What are we looking at this morning?
Hey guys, sorry, it's hard to hear you out here. They're still cleaning up the tree that has come down on two cars. So the chipperback has been running full speed ahead. Excuse me. You can see one of the cars is in the clear, the white car. They've got a grappler back there, a mini grappler, and they've been chainsawing basically the base of the tree. And they're going to bring that out. This guy's bringing some limbs around on the right. And you can see there's another car right there. The blue car you can see now showing up through the bush there. So they've been here about 30 minutes. They're making quick work of this. Next door, that's an aluminum roof. So the wind was strong enough to peel off part of the aluminum roof. Usually you put those on, you're thinking, hey, we're fine. No more shingles. We're not going to lose any more shingles. But the gentleman that owns this house, and lives in the house down there, he was home, and he said it happened so fast. He saw the warning pop up on TV, and then it was over with in about a minute. So we'll swing around here. Trees that blew across the street. The fence blew down. That's the high school in the distance. The high school, no damage at all at the school. Now across the street, behind the middle school or the ball fields, there's some damage to one of the ball field signs, and there's some other minor damage on the athletic fields. But right here is Coweta Intermediate Grade School, the middle school, and Serpro's out here. So we obviously have some water damage because these air conditioning units were blown off the roof, and that opens up the roof and the water goes in. The thing about the rainfall here is Tulsa only had about a ½ inch of rain. Now that's 30 miles away. They may have had more here, but they didn't get 4 or 5 inches of rain. So the cleanup continues. But Chris, this is basically what I showed you is basically about 80% of the damage. There's a canopy up at the Phillips 66. It's got some damage, and there's some power crews putting some power lines back up. But very, very fortunate here in this part of Oklahoma, and statewide as a whole, that no one was injured that we've seen, and there were no fatalities from the severe weather outbreak. Chris?
Yeah, no, and Mike, I'll take it because we do have the risk of thunderstorms today. Now that the sun is up in Oklahoma, people are getting a chance to better assess the damage after last night's storms, and that's where we find the Weather Channel's Mike Seidel in Coweta, showing us what's happened there this morning. Mike.
Hey, good morning, Jen. And back here in Coweta, we're about a ½ an hour southeast of Tulsa. Weather Service will be out here today, no doubt, to take a look at the damage to see if we had straight line wind damage or a tornado. The bottom line is the damage is relegated to this general area, part of the street, 2 homes, and the middle school. We'll start across the street here where they have taken care of a tree that has come down on 2 vehicles. That old blue Camaro right there is still covered up by the bush. And they're up in the tree here this week trying to take off some more limbs. I talked to the lady who lives in that house, and she said it felt like it lasted forever, although we know it was very quick. Part of the roof came off. That's a tin roof, by the way. I said aluminum earlier. I meant tin. And they found pieces of that over here in the school parking lot. And her power line has been wrapped off and pulled off the box on the back of the house. So power's out in this small area, but you don't have to go too far to find the power back on. The other issue, the school. This is the Coweta Intermediate Grade School, grammar school, and all schools today, by the way, were closed. Schools were canceled either in person or for virtual home learning. And the Serpro team is out here. No doubt we've got some water damage because these air conditioning units were blown off the roof, some of them in the parking lot. We've got some folks up on the roof now, probably some of the school maintenance and some of the engineers. Looks like that unit up there at the top is also damaged. And so they're going to have to get those off and replace those. And it's, a function of how much remediation has to be done. So, fortunately, because of COVID, everybody's kind of set up to work remotely and learn remotely. So that may be the case, certainly for this school. The high school is right up the street. It didn't suffer a scratch, except at the ball fields. There's some damage to the baseball scoreboard, and there's some other minor damage things that got blown around that weren't really tied down. But the stands, the press box, the football stadium are fine. Beautiful day for this bit of cleanup. Best news of all, no injuries and no fatalities reported with the severe weather outbreak, which was primarily late yesterday afternoon to early this morning. The storms rolled through here last night around 11 o'clock, and there was a tornado warning here southeast of Tulsa. Go back to Atlanta, Chris, Jen. Good news all around. Overall, it just didn't fortunately turn out as bad as we thought it could when we had that torque on a 7. It'll be interesting to see if we had any strong tornadoes. Based on what I'm seeing from the damage reports from SPC, it doesn't seem like we had any EF-3s or higher. But we'll find out from the Weather Service.
Exactly. They'll be out to survey the damage. We did have some strong winds, though, Mike, and that's something we're worried about with storms today. And so I want to take it and send it over to Chris and show folks